Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin is reportedly meeting with Ole Miss athletic director Keith Carter at some point today as speculation continues to build about where he will coach college football next season. You haven't seen any updates this morning, have you?
I haven't seen anything yet. No, I have not seen anything.
Okay, after talking about this over the past couple of weeks from every angle, I have now decided exactly what I would do if I were Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
I would stay at Ole Miss. And I wouldn't stay at Ole Miss because I necessarily think it's the right thing to do or the smart thing to do, or it's even the thing that I wholeheartedly believe I want to do. This is where I've sort of settled in on it. And Dan Wetzel has got a column that sort of emphasizes the same point. The only practical way to leave Ole Miss right now is to leave before the season is done. Is to quite literally walk away from a team that's got a chance, by definition, to win the national championship. And, you know, that little passage that Lane tweeted the other day about make a list of pros and cons.
Yep.
And even if one side of that list is overwhelming with 15 different things, if there is one thing that can trump all of those things, then that's the one thing you need to focus on. So in other words, everybody knows about making pros and cons. Hey, make your list, pros and cons, and then look at it and see if you got more pros than cons, and maybe that'll guide you where you need to be. The point of this passage, as he delivered it, was don't get caught up in the numbers. Like there's 15 pros and only one con. If the one con is the one thing that is more important than everything else, then that's the thing that should be focused on. And I think if you apply that logic here, here's where I would be at least. I would not want to be known as the man who walked away from a team that had a shot to win the national championship. I would not want to be known as the man who told 80 young men to believe in me, to work with me, to ride with me, and then walk away from them right in the middle of our biggest fight because I think it might be easier to do this somewhere else someday. Like, think about that for a second. The only reason you leave Ole Miss is so that you can position yourself to win a national championship. And to do that, you would quite literally be walking away from a team that some people believe is good enough to win a national championship.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't do that, period. Like, it would be that. I have gotten to a point where it would be that simple for me. It's not even I sit down with my wife, with my kids, with my agent, with whomever, and this is where I would land. I would say, guys, I know we've talked about this from every angle. You've gone and visited Baton Rouge. You've gone and visited Gainesville. I know that I told you I think that this might be best for us. I know that I told you I have dreams about coaching at a place like that. But here's the truth. This is not even a choice for me to make. I can't do it. Can't do it. I can't walk away right now. Not like this. I will be hated in this community forever, which I can maybe get over, but that's not fun. Right now, everybody loves me, or at least a month ago, everybody loved me before I started all this stuff. I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to uproot my family in this moment. But all of these things are secondary, I think. The main thing is I don't want for the rest of my life, no matter what happens going forward, every time people talk about me, this is what they talk about. I don't know if I'll ever win a championship at Ole Miss. Perhaps I'd have a better chance to win one at Florida or LSU. Maybe I'll look back on it and wish or wonder, but I'm just telling you, I can't live the rest of my life with people thinking that about me. I can't live the rest of my life, no matter what I do, when I die, my obituary will say at some point, the guy who walked away from a one-loss team heading into the college football playoff or heading into the semifinals or heading into the Egg Bowl or wherever. I don't want that to be my legacy. I'm not comfortable with it, and that is why I'm staying at Ole Miss. That's what I would do.
He did tweet hashtag come to the sip 1 hour ago.
I don't know what any of that means. Like, you know, I know that there's a lot of like momentum attached to LSU. You read all this stuff, right? Like there are reputable college football analysts right now who believe he will be the next head coach at LSU. I'm being very clear here. I have no inside information. I've never talked to Lane Kiffin. I don't know what's going on here. I could not and perhaps I'm projecting, and I understand Lane Kiffin's different than me, and others who know him well will tell you he's the most all over the place, hard to figure out guy in college football. So maybe all of this is a moot point. But I cannot imagine voluntarily making that your legacy. You know exactly what everybody's going to say about you if you do this, because they've already said it. This isn't one of those things where, wow, I didn't see this coming. Like Kevin Durant signs with Golden State. He didn't see what was coming. He didn't know how that would be received. And we didn't have weeks in advance to talk about it because nobody even really thought that was a real thing that might happen. So it wasn't like this chorus of analysts and everybody screaming the whole time for 2 weeks. I know Kevin Durant's thinking about going to State, but if he goes there and boom, 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 and then he did it anyway. I think KD did that thinking, I'm going to a team that just lost, and I'll make them the team that wins, and I'll be celebrated accordingly. He did not have a proper grasp for what he was doing and how it would be received. Lane should have a proper grasp for exactly how this would be received because we've had plenty of time to think about it, talk about it, consider it, and express opinions. Everybody has told him how this will play, and I cannot imagine being somebody who will walk into that voluntarily. I'm telling you how this will be received. You might go win 7 national championships at LSU, but this will always be the bigger part of your story, that you walked away from that you did this to those young men, that you did this to that university that believed in you and was willing to give you everything and did. I can't fathom that being your legacy and you making it that way. I understand sometimes people make bad decisions, spur of the moment, all that stuff. But this is one you've had plenty of time to talk about, plenty of time to think about, and the whole world's telling you exactly how it's going to go down if you walk out that door under these circumstances. I just wouldn't do it, period. I just would not do it. I might look up in 3 years and go, the timing just wasn't right, and I think I'd be happier at LSU right now than I am at Ole Miss right now. You might have all those feelings, but none of those feelings will compare to the feeling you carry around with you. If there's anything normal about you, the feeling you have to carry around with you knowing you walked away under these circumstances for the rest of your life, that is not something I would be comfortable with. I would stay. And that's why I continue to believe he probably will. I don't report that or say it with any sort of inside information. Just on a human level, I don't know how you could leave. Not like this. Not right now.